Hey guys, I'm back and I am going to show off a custom project. No, I don't have the in progress video because it was something that this is a project a long time in the making. And let me tell you about it. So this knife belongs to Lenny. Lenny has been a long time viewer, commenter, supporter of this channel. I mean, going back years and years. And he's been an awesome kind of guy. And a while ago, a few months ago, he sent me two knives. One to look at and review, and then, well, two to look at and review. But what he asked, and he's a big Star Wars kind of guy too, like me, but he really likes the Mandalorian. And if you remember, I had done some Boba Fett themed knives, and I had actually done quite a few different Boba Fett, in the shop, Cerakote kind of customizations. And he wondered how it would be to do a Mandalorian themed knife. And I'll be honest, I wasn't sure how to do that because, well, let's face it, let's look at the Mandalorian. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of color going on. And he said, he's like, look, if you can just, you can do Boba Fett, that's fine. But I was like, no, you want Mandalorian. But it took me a little while, honestly, to figure out, like, rather than making a knife just silver, like how do we pull this off? How do we do it? So I spent a long time looking at different pictures, and oh darn, I got to rewatch the show. Oh well, but just sort of figuring it out and thinking about it and kind of playing with a few ideas, and finally I came up with something. And so he sent a Civivi Vagabond. And that's what we were going to work on. This is not just any Civivi Vagabond, though. This is the Knife Center exclusive one. So the standard one, they all come with FRN scales. The standard one blade is like 9CR steel. This one is CPM S35VN, which is quite an upgrade. This one is twice the cost of your standard Vagabond. So I didn't realize that until after it was done, and I don't know, but you know what, his knife, and so I guess it's a nicer to work on a high quality one, to have a customized higher quality one, I guess. So a couple things that we did, and I'll throw pictures of what it looked like beforehand. It was just white, which was kind of stormtroopery, right? But so, let's talk about the Mandalorian. So yes, Beskar armor, I mean, that's why he's just all kind of metal colored. But there are a couple different color accents on him. So we got a new color in the shop called Smoked Bronze. And that's what I decided to do. And this is all one piece, but so I masked off to make, it had kind of like a false bolster, and I gave it a bolster look. And I wanted to leave that Civivi alone. But so I did the bolster in that smoked bronze to match kind of the brownish color of his little cloak cape thing that he's got, and his the fabric color that he's got going on. For the hardware, and I did the clip there too. For the hardware, there's kind of a bluish element in some of his gear, and so for the liners and the screws, I used Northern Lights, and Northern Lights is a really cool color because it's almost, well, it is kind of a chameleon color. It shifts a little bit from a yellowish to a blue, and I thought that would be really cool because it incorporates that blue color, but it also it goes really well with the bronze, because when it shifts color, it kind of almost goes to a bronzish color. So I thought that would look really good to go with that. And the Mandalorian, at various points, his armor is perfect, shiny, brand new Beskar, steel. But he goes through a lot of stuff. He gets very dirty and worn throughout the course of the series. So I did the back spacer. Here we go. In the bronze color. I'm sorry. I did the back spacer in the Northern Lights. And then I flashed that, and then I shot it over with the bronze and then scuffed it up just a little bit to give you a little messed up color. And I did the same thing with the scales. So I shot it with the bronze, the whole thing with the bronze, then masked it, flashed it, masked it. So this is shimmer aluminum is what they call it. And it's not like a like a bright, shiny metallic, certainly not like the blade. I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's a nice kind of, it's like a satin finish metal, you know? And then, so right after I sprayed it, I hit it with just a little bit of a 3M pad to show a little bit of the bronze beneath it, you know, just a little bit of wear and tear like Mr. Mandolorian would get. I thought that would be cool. And then I put it in the oven to cure. Now, I left the blade exactly as is because that looks like a nice, shiny, perfect piece of Beskar. But to make it real, oh, he's left-handed, by the way, which is why the clip's on this side. To make it really very Mando-like, he's got to have his Mudhorn sigil on there, which I did with the laser. Now, I did something interesting with the laser. This is a very, very thin piece of steel as it goes. This camera is going to hate focusing on this because it's so shiny. Laser blast and everything reflecting off of Beskar. I know this looks bad, but I want you to know I monitored the heat level of the steel the whole time to make sure we weren't messing with heat treat. But I just kept hitting the crosshatch on this laser engraving. So number one, it's in there. But we got some nice coloring going that looks like heat. And it did not, I never at any point let it get hot enough to mess with the heat treat. But since it's so thin with this hollow grind, we're able to heat color the steel a little bit while monitoring the temperature and everything. So we got a little bit of anno effect on the Mudhorn, which is nicely engraved in there. But we also have that little bit of heat effect around it, which kind of gives it that like lasery blast residue look. And I had to look up how to do this, several different references, without messing up the steel. But I think that looks really cool. And that makes it very Mando. So we've got the nice shiny Beskar look. And all I did was just leave the blade alone. But then the Mudhorn engraved right on it. So it's, you know, not a super high-end knife. But you don't have to have a super high-end knife to do some really nice custom stuff on it and make it look really cool. And, you know, going with the Mandalorian look, they gave us some really nice basis for it with this super satin shiny blade and then a nice blank canvas for the rest. So I showed him, he's really happy with it. And legit, maybe, you know, some other people would be like, well, you know, that's pretty easy. Why didn't you figure it out earlier? I don't know. I just didn't. I just wasn't sure how to make it really Mando. I could have done a Boba Fett really easy. I mean, his colors are very easy to do, but trying to figure out how to make it, I mean, not boring, basically, is what I was thinking. Because Mandalorian, it's just not a lot of color to do. But I think this is a really cool knife now. One of a kind. I'd love to know you guys' thoughts on it. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What would you have done different to make it more Mandalorian? Or, you know, are you happy with it as is? What do you guys think? And yeah, I did put the Mudhorn on that side because he's left-handed. So, you know, right-handed folks, we're going to be using it, and that's going to be like the show side. But since he's left-handed, that's kind of the show side for him as he looks at it. So anyway, what do you guys think? You like this project? You don't like this project? You like the colors I went with? Is there other colors that you might choose for a Mandalorian theme? Or what would you have done? Let me know. I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait to get it sent off to him. So anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. I'm really, really curious to hear your input about this whole project. And remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome. And I appreciate every single one of you. And I'll be back again real soon.